Good morning. Today's January the 22nd, 2022. Just finished driving for today. I started around 1 o'clock this morning and finished, it's about 10 after 9 this morning. And in sitting behind me is one of our trucks, one of our semi trucks. That's the company I work for. They're W&L Mail. And continuing on the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus, one of his first public teachings, and he's still sitting and teaching all of these people who are following him, and he is continuing on with the Beatitudes, and we are at verse 6. It says, "Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled." One of the best things I read for me in one of my commentaries, it says, "Who among us can claim righteousness?" Who of us is perfect? Our history is failure, but the requirement for this beatitude is not righteousness, but the hungering and thirsting after righteousness. So praise God for that. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness in our lives, in our communities, in our families, and in the world that surrounds us. So what is that righteousness? One of my favorite verses is in 2 Corinthians 5:21. It says, God made him, his son Jesus, God made him who knew no sin to become sin for us, that we might become the righteousness of God. So praise be to God, praise be to Jesus for claiming that righteousness for us. We just got to hunger and thirst for that righteousness, which is hunger and thirsting after Jesus, God's Son. Another one of my favorite verses that goes along with this is Galatians 5:6. There is in the church at Galatia, there is a bit of an argument going on as far as with the Jews who still were believing in circumcision or still being circumcised, but then the Gentiles, the early church did not put that requirement on the Gentiles, and you can read that in the book of Acts. But there was some in the early church that was trying to make that a requirement for the Gentiles. And Paul states in Galatians in 5:6, he says, the only thing that counts is faith working itself in love. And that's another way we can go after thirsting and hungering for righteousness, is we can go after love in our life, love for God, love for our neighbor, love for our brothers and sisters. And then there's a promise there, and you will be filled. And I believe that's you're feeding the good, nutritious food to your soul and to your spirit, food that will satisfy, and food that will fill your soul and your spirit. Good food, good, nutritious food. So I hope that's encouraging. And man, the Bible is so full of ways to become closer and I say closer, but God has us in his arms. For those who have put their faith and trust in God, I don't think it's a matter of being closer to God. I believe we're as close as we're going to get here on earth, and that's because of God holding us, and not our relationship dependent on us holding God. But in 2 Corinthians 3:18, it talks about us believers being transformed into the image of Jesus from glory to glory. And in Romans 12:1 and 2, it talks about being molded, transformed with the renewing of our minds. So it's not a matter of being, you hear that term sometimes, and it's not so much of a bad term, but it can be misleading as far as, am I getting closer to God or not? Well, I would just challenge you to think more, are we being molded into his likeness? I believe, Paul again says in one of his letters that nothing can separate us from the love of God. No height, no depth, nothing can separate us from the love of God. So praise be to God for that. As always, if you have any prayer requests, you can shoot me an email at truckers.pray@gmail.com. God bless all the truckers. I'm here at my yard, at my works, where all the trucks are parked, and I just pray a blessing on all the employees here and their families, and all the truck drivers out there. Thanks for all y'all do. God bless you. If you have any questions, shoot me an email. Thanks for watching. Be safe.